Hello friends, I'm Rhiannon and I run Drawn by Rhiannon, where I design fabric and make it into lots of lovely little homeware items and accessories. So I sell these online on my website and in stockists around the UK, but I also do a lot of craft markets, and if you watch my last video then you'll see my top tips for how to run a craft market stall. So today I thought I would show you my craft market stall. So I've got a little blank table set up here and I'm going to run through what my craft table looks like at the market. So when you do a craft market, on the whole, you're given a 6-foot space for your table. So I use a folding table, which you can just see in the background here. I've got my one that I take to the fairs with me. That's folded up, ready to go. But then I also have this one, which I actually bought for a Christmas market last year when I had a bigger pitch and actually had space for 2 tables. But on the whole, I just have one table, which I use this one, and keep this one just set up in the workshop, ready so that I can test out any new stall layouts that I want to do. I've been doing craft fairs and markets for over 5 years now, and across that time I've done so many different layouts and I've gathered lots of different props that I use to display my items on the table. So it's always changing. I think I've already changed my layout twice this year. It's really quite different from what I was having last year, so it's just like an ongoing process. I'll either find new props that work better, or I've got new items or new products that need displaying differently. So yeah, it's definitely an ongoing process, but I thought I would show you what my current stall layout is and maybe give you some ideas about how you might want to lay out your stall, or just if you're interested to see what goes on and sort of where I find these pieces. So first things first, I would always recommend having a little tablecloth to go over your table. It just looks prettier, and then you hide all the legs there and then you can store stock underneath the table. So it's really handy to have. I know quite a lot of people just go for like a plain white one or a plain black one, but I've got a little blue polka dot one that goes with my brand theme. So it's completely up to you what colour you go for, but yeah, I just like to have a little fun with it. So because I couldn't actually find a ready-made tablecloth in the design that I wanted, I ended up just making this out of a few metres of fabric. So it's 2 lots of 2 metres of fabric and then just sewn down the middle. So there's a seam down here which actually goes exactly where the middle fold of the table is, so that I always know it's exactly in the right place. The tablecloth is covering the table evenly, and yeah, I'm not going to have one side longer than the other. So now that I've got the tablecloth on, I'm going to get started putting on the props that are going to hold all the items. So I think the oldest prop that I have on my market stall is this little magazine holder rack thing, I think it is. So I got this from a charity shop. I think it was like £5, but it's literally perfect for holding my beeswax wraps. So it's got little compartments in here, got 4 different sections so that I can spread out the beeswax wraps. Makes it a little bit easier for people to look through. So it's definitely always worth having a rootle through the charity shops in the bric-a-brac section, because you never really know what you're going to find. And quite often you'll find something like a magazine rack that will work really well for displaying like prints or anything like that. I always like to have a little bit of symmetry on my craft stall, so I'll have a tall item on this end and then a tall item on this end as well. So the second prop that I've got is actually one of the newest things that I bought from my market stall, and it's this shelving unit, which is really handy because it folds completely flat, as you can see. I'll pop it up in a second so you can see what it looks like. But yeah, this is really handy for transporting. It just goes flat across the parcel shelf in my car, and it gives really good height. And I put the wash bags on these, so they just about all fit on there and across the table in front. And yeah, I've sold so many more wash bags since using this display, so it just goes to show that it really does make a big difference how you display your products. So that just fits nicely on the end of the table there. I think this was actually a plant stand, like I think you're supposed to cover it in plants in your house, but it works great for little shelving, and it's also got this little bit of space underneath there. I don't know if you can see that, but that is just enough space for me to put my carrier bags and leaflets, which I hadn't actually thought about when I bought it, but yeah, that works really well. So I found this through a shop on Facebook Marketplace. I think it was like £25–30, something like this. And I've been looking for sort of like a foldable shelving unit for ages, and this is just absolutely perfect. I'm so happy with it. So the next prop that I like to use a lot on my market stall is wooden crates. So these are great because they're really versatile. You can get them in all sorts of shapes and sizes. They're very sturdy, so they're also good for using, if you have it that way, you can have things lifted up on it if you're needing some more height. But yeah, these are great. This one is really quite an old one. It was salvaged from a garden centre. It was going to be thrown in the bin, but it's like a really sturdy piece of equipment. Spent a lot of time sanding and re-waxing it so that it's all nice. And yeah, I use these for displaying my makeup pads and my pencil cases. I just like to have each item kind of sectioned off, because I have a lot of stuff on my table, but I find if it's put into sections then it doesn't look sort of too busy or cluttered or anything, and crates are a really good way to do that. So like I say, this was an upcycled item. I think it cost me like £5, again off Facebook Marketplace. So definitely always worth having a look on Facebook Marketplace and Gumtree and Freecycle and all that, because you can find some really good items on there. I also have this crate as well, which is literally from a veg delivery I had. I think it had a load of tomatoes in, but it's surprisingly sturdy, so I was like, I'm not going to chuck this away, it'll come in useful for something, and it did. This is what I keep my sponges in now. I did used to have them on a bigger display, but I've got less of them now because I'm discontinuing them. So yeah, I just pop these in this little basket at the back, and people can have a little rummage through and see what designs there are. So as you probably know by now, I'm very much against using plastic wherever possible. So as you can see, all my props are wooden, and I do also use baskets as well. So I've got this little wicker basket. This was when I started doing the greetings cards last Christmas, and I was desperately trying to find something that was the right size, and I have so many baskets at home and none of them were the right size. But I headed to TK Maxx. They have a fantastic homeware section, and found just the right size basket that I was looking for. So this is the perfect size for greetings cards. Again, I think this was like £5–6, which I don't think is too bad because it is like a really sturdy one, because some of the baskets are very lightweight and they kind of get battered about when they're being moved and everything. But yeah, this one's really nice and sturdy, so happy with this purchase. Then the last prop that I use, and I think I've talked about these before, but these fantastic plate racks. So these are a little bit harder to find than they used to be, but these are absolutely brilliant for displaying if you've got any prints, if you've got literally anything that is going to fit in there and it helps it stand up. It just works so well. So I actually use these for my reusable cleaning wipes now, because they're just a little bit wider than this, so they stand really nicely in the plate rack. And then obviously they're standing up straight, so you can see all the different designs to choose from. And yeah, just really handy bit of kit this. I got this from the range a few years ago, and I think it was like £3 or something. I don't think they do this size anymore in the range. I think they just do a smaller one. But yeah, you can still get them online and stuff for like £5–6 for this kind of size. And honestly, really handy. Just got so many uses for different products. So that is all the props that I use for my market stall. So what I'm going to do is just go and grab some of my products, lay them out so you can sort of see how all the props work in action. And yeah, I hope that inspires some ideas for you for your own craft market stall. So this is the finished stall layout. As you can see, the coin purses and the aprons are missing. Basically, I don't have enough room on a 6-foot table for all of my stock. So I am discontinuing the coin purses, so I don't have many of those left now. So I always take them with me, they're just under the table. But yeah, they don't actually fit on the table. And then also the aprons, obviously they don't fit on the table. And I am also discontinuing these, mainly for the reason that they never fit on a stall. Like very occasionally I'll have space to bring a rail for my aprons, but it's quite unusual. So yeah, I do have this lovely, I think it's like bamboo clothes rail that I got off Facebook Marketplace again. I think that was £15. It's really lovely and the aprons look really nice on it, but yeah, there's very rarely space for them, so it is nice when I get to do bigger events where I've got, say, like a 3x3 metre pitch, and I can sort of lay it out how I want, and then that's when I bring the aprons. But yes, all of this is obviously available on my website. I'll drop the link in the description below so you can check that out if you see something that's taken your fancy. If you're wanting to start doing craft markets and you have any questions at all, then just drop them down below and I'll get right back to you. I hope you found this video useful. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and if you haven't already, it would be lovely if you could subscribe to my channel. Click here to subscribe and click here for another video. I hope that you're all having a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!